Good afternoon. I hope everyone is having a great day, whether you are 5 hours away or a day away. Remember, I love you. I want this to be short and sweet. I am going to talk about intimidation tactics you may see online and Twitter, especially when people say something that some people understand and other people misinterpret. I noticed that there's always certain people that always want to argue with you, even after you correct them and even after you tell them that they misunderstood what your post was about and to read an entire thread. They still want to argue with you. Well, you said this, and I will tell them, no, I said this. And they'll still try to argue with you like, no, you're backtracking. No, you misunderstood what I said, and I am trying to correct you because there's no reason to argue with a bitch that puts words in your mouth and then gets you in trouble because they want to distort what you are saying. For instance, I can say, I like bananas, and I think oranges are too citrusy. So then somebody gonna come along and say, oh, so you hate oranges, right? Okay, no, I said that oranges are too citrusy. I mean, I can eat an orange, but I just like oranges that are not really citrusy, you know. I don't think all oranges are citrusy, but some oranges are. But then they want to say, oh, you don't like oranges, blah, 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 blah. But that's not what I said. No, you just don't want to get dragged. No, you came here to argue. And I don't like that, especially from certain people that do this. Like the other day when I was talking about how a lot of bi women will say that they are discriminated against in pride spaces and they don't feel comfortable at pride because, you know, people don't like us and our boyfriends and we have a cishet boyfriend. My thing is, as someone who's dealt with internalized biphobia, as someone who up until recently never considered dating a woman, you know, has like been dating men, like I've been more attracted to women than men. There's only like a few men that I've ever really been attracted to and I could ever really see myself in a relationship with. But dealing with internalized homophobia and thinking I could never date a woman, I know what it's like to try to project that onto other people and to say, well, I don't feel welcome in the queer community. When really I feel like it's more so like you are going through like a lot of internalized homophobia and biphobia and you're trying to act as if lesbians just hate you because you date all of these men and you want to date a lesbian and you feel like, well, I mean, maybe she can see through, like I got all these issues going on and she probably don't want to fuck with that. And I feel like that is something that you need to unpack. Don't say that every lesbian hates you if you have this mindset that, yeah, I'm openly bi, but I can never date a woman and women are gross and ill and yikes and I can only sleep with a woman if a cishet man is involved. You only want to fuck us if we are involved in threesomes with your boyfriend. You want to try to coerce us into threesomes. You're on Tinder with your ugly straight boyfriend looking for a woman, a femme to fuck. And then you don't want to even outright tell them that you got a man. You want to put your picture up first. So then a woman can say, oh, she cute, and then swipe right, and then, oh, she got a man, but it's too late because we already swiped right. And the thing about it is, y'all know what you're doing when you put your picture on Tinder first and not your boyfriend, because you know most people are going to swipe right if the picture is cute enough. If you got a picture that's so cute, I'm just going to swipe right. I don't need to look through like 5 pictures to see like how you really look, so you know what you're doing. And I find that very manipulative. But then when lesbians call that out, or bi women who date other women call that out, everybody is biphobic and we think that you're promiscuous and that you're gonna cheat because you're bisexual, when no, it's simply because you're bisexual. You clearly have a preference for men, but it's not enough for you just fuck men in peace. You gotta try to come in and try to recruit women into fucking you and your man, and then when we say no or we make it clear that we don't like cishet men or we don't prefer cishet men, and that's not even me, because I'm someone who does have a preference for men and women. I am 50-50. Women, men, it don't fucking matter. They all get me like all, you know, giddy and all that, and I get turned on and all that stuff. You know, it's too much information. But there are women you know don't fuck with cishet men, and you still trying to like, okay, well, like, that's still my boyfriend and I like you and I feel like, you know, we can make this work and I just want to see if you're comfortable. And then when they say no, oh my God, like, I don't understand why so many lesbians and bi women don't like me. Well, I feel like you just need to unpack a lot of things. Please break up your damn boyfriend, because I don't want to fuck you while you got a man, and I don't want to fuck a man while he got a woman. You wouldn't expect a man to have a woman be his side chick, but yeah, you asking all types of women to be your damn side chick while you publicly claim a nigga. And then you come in my mention saying that I'm biphobic, when the only thing that I said wrong was that bi women have never been discriminated against or at Pride. And I never said like they ain't never been discriminated against or excluded from LGBT spaces. What I am saying is, when it comes to Pride, where you can come in and be who you are, nobody is really thinking, oh my God, is he straight? Is he cis? And all of that. Or, ooh, what couple are they? No one is really thinking about that. Now, we can kind of tell if we're at Pride and we're having a good time and you got a couple of people kind of looking at us funny, kind of gawking at us weird, and you see people that are trans walking by, or you see drag queens, or you see people that are in BDSM attire, you know, they're dressing how they dress, because I've seen people with whips and chains, you know, BDSM couples, and you got people kind of looking at them, you know, like, what the fuck, and you can tell that they're not comfortable. Then yes, we can kind of think, okay, like, you straight, or you homophobic, or, you know, you cis, you know, you clearly not comfortable with this, you know. But there's also queers that are like that as well, but we don't want to be looked at funny. That's all it is. We don't want to go to Pride to see a cishet man or a cishet woman looking at us funny. We don't want to be judged, and that happens so many times where we have Christians come into these spaces yelling at us, screaming at children, calling us perverts, saying that our children are going to go to hell. And then you also got cishet men that come to Pride just to hit on bisexual women. You know, if you're bisexual and you're a man, okay, I can see, okay, you cute girl, like, let's go out. But if you a cishet man and you're going to Pride and you don't really support it, you just looking for some hot bi chicks to see kissed, I'm not letting you in our space. And I tried to explain that, and it was just, well, you can't say that all cishet men are like that, or all cishet men with bi women are like homophobic, when most cishet men are homophobic. When most bi women who date cishet men have been subjected to abusive relationships, have been stalked, have been raped, have been murdered, have been sexually assaulted, those that are in relationships with cishet men. So you want to tell me that just because a cishet man is with a bi woman, that makes him an ally, when a lot of times these men just like bi women because they think that they're hot and that they kiss women and they think two women together is sexy? That's homophobia. That is biphobia, and that is sapphobia. You know, seeing fetishizing two women kissing is part of lesphobia and sapphobia, where it's like, okay, we can turn them straight, or okay, they can be gay, but as long as men are involved, then that's okay, because they're not really, you know, they're not really gay, they're not really bi, okay, they still like men. So, and that's violent. And then people want to sit there and say, oh, well, you're being transphobic because what if they're a trans man? And I specifically said cishet men. Okay, but what if he's cishet? Okay. Or they say, what if he's trans? Okay, then he's not cishet. Okay, but like, what if my straight husband is actually a woman? Then she's a woman. Okay, but what if my husband is actually my wife, but they're just not in the closet? They're just not out of the closet. But why are you, like, y'all just want an excuse to bring a cishet person into Pride after people have told you that they feel uncomfortable and you don't care? If you were to just simply say, you know, I understand how you feel, but, you know, I just feel like if I were to bring him, he makes me comfortable, I have social anxiety, you know, he's cool, it's all right, then we'll be like, okay, I understand. But for you to argue with people, especially sapphic women that have told you why cishet men and their presence make them uncomfortable, especially in women and women's spaces, yeah, people are gonna have a problem. And then you want to talk to me like I'm a child. Oh, well, you shouldn't have said this, and think what you said. And, you know, if I already apologize and you sit there and say, I don't ever want to hear you talk to me again, don't at me, bitch, I am not your child, and I am not a child. I don't like the power dynamics you are using. I don't care if you are a part of the LGBT. That does not mean that you as a white woman can come at me and to sit there and try to intimidate me because you're still a white woman and you are still using power dynamics over a black woman, cis or not. Like, I don't care if you are a cis gay man. I don't care if you are a trans woman. That doesn't mean that you can come at me any type of way when you are still a white woman and you are still a white man. I don't care if you are gay. Because that don't mean that I have to like sit here and let some white woman use her white woman tears against me. I don't have to listen to a white man explain to me about why I should feel comfortable with cishet men, whether he's gay or not, or bisexual. That doesn't give you the authority to tell a black woman, a queer black woman, a bi woman of color, how she should handle a cishet man in a space where it's a bunch of sapphics kissing and feeling on each other and expressing PDA. And there are people that are as young as 13 doing that to each other, and not in like a weird perverted way, but you know how people are going to perceive that. Our sexuality is already considered porn. You cannot post videos of two women kissing on YouTube without getting it flagged for pornography. So you want me to think that I feel comfortable with a cishet man coming to a space where we got all types of young girls and young women that are just really exploring themselves and showing all types of affection, and they're going to take it the wrong way, or they're going to try and insert themselves into it, and I'm the bad guy? No. And I'm not going to let people try to get me to take it back, because I say that a lot of times when bi women say that they don't feel comfortable in queer spaces, it's because they want to bring their cishet boyfriend along, and we tell them, well, you know, we don't really feel comfortable, you know, we don't really like that, you know, about a cishet man in our space, and you want to call it biphobic because we say that we don't feel comfortable with your cishet boyfriend. And then you think that he's a part of your sexuality. He's not a part of your fucking sexuality. Let me tell you something. You know, being bisexual means that you are inherently queer, that you are attracted to the same sex, but then you also are attracted to the opposite gender. That you can be in heterosexual relationships, but you are not heterosexual. And you don't have to be in a heterosexual relationship to be bisexual, because there are all types of genders. The old label, between a man and a woman, no, that's just archaic. So that's all I had to say about that. That I don't care that, you know, you are upset about what I said, because I understand, but then don't sit up here and try to turn it out to be like I'm a toxic person when you was getting in my mentions, and when I tried to clarify it, you all of a sudden tried to make it like I was backtracking and scared of you, and you're trying to intimidate me. And then once I tell you why what you are doing is wrong, or I call you an aggressor, then you all of a sudden, oh, I'm not an aggressor, you're doing it to yourself, I don't have to antagonize you and all that. Bitch, yes you are. Yes you are. That's the biggest line people use when you call them out for trying to antagonize and intimidate you. Oh, you're doing it yourself. No fucking bitch, you're doing it. And then when somebody else steps in and calls that out, then they want to say, oh, well, she was saying this and she was being this and biphobic and blah, blah, blah. So now you have this energy for them that you didn't have for me. Why are you all of a sudden trying to engage them? But then when I was trying to engage you the entire time, you was cussing at me, calling me trash, because you try to send me a picture of your cishet boyfriend thinking that he would trigger me. And then when I said I didn't give a fuck, you try to call me trash, trying to get a reaction out of me. And then when once someone stepped in and called you out for it, then suddenly I'm the problem and it wasn't you trying to start shit. Nah. Do not use the fact that you are part of a marginalized community, especially the LGBT, to try and talk over other black people that are part of the LGBT, because you have this idea that we somehow homophobic and, you know, we don't like gay people, or we got internalized homophobia, because that's why a lot of you white people always come at us funny or look at us funny at Pride, because you think that we homophobic, or we gonna intimidate your sexuality because you think that we as black people don't fuck with gay people, even though that the majority of the LGBT community and everybody that made shit happen with gay rights are black. So that's your real issue. And you think that everything I say is biphobic. And gay people, they don't want you to ever criticize what's going on in their community, even if you are black, because they feel like they are the authorities. Like, no, you are not the authority. Just because you are white does not mean that you can decide what's okay to say and what's not okay to say. You don't get to make that decision, okay? I do. You don't get to decide when I can criticize internalized sexism or internalized heterosexism or homophobia within the bi women community just because you are white. You're not going to do that to me. So like I said, I hope everyone is doing okay, and I have all these things that I have on my mind, and don't let anybody try to intimidate you, because if you say that you're sorry, and they don't got to accept your apology, but if you and somebody else are cool and we get on even foot and somebody tries to say, well, I don't like how you did my homegirl, or I don't like what you said. Okay, but at the end of the day, we already settled it. So you just here to see a fight, and that's not going to happen. So don't let your friend try to get you to fight somebody, because a lot of you guys just be there for a fight. Y'all want to sit there and say, yeah, she disrespected you and all that. And then when two people settle it, oh, well, you gonna let her handle it? Like, no, bitch, you was here for a fight. But anyway.